it has been a little bit disturbing for both international and local news on mental health. We have had so many occurrences, and I sat down and I said, when are we going to start becoming more open about this thing? So today I have brought a guest who is a counseling psychologist, well known within our country here, Uganda. She's an expert counseling psychologist. She works with different organizations, including Safe Places Uganda, and also giving services at Butabika National Referral Hospital. So I would like to, first and foremost, before I continue, give a chance to my guest to introduce herself, tell us what counseling psychologist means, and we go on from there. Welcome, my guest.
Thank you so much, Bill.
Yes.
I'm glad to be here with you in this studio. I've taken longer without coming to studios, but this is a great pleasure to be here. And so that we can air out the things you've talked about today. People are killing themselves. Is it a mental health disorder? Is it intentional? Is it a taboo? Is it witchcraft? What is it? That's what we are going to look at today. Because we know that suicide, as you've said, it has so many things that when someone commits suicide, people have a lot of when someone commits suicide, people have a lot of things that they attach it to. Others will be like, that is an evil spirit. Others will be like, it is within the family. Others will talk so many things, because we know that when someone commits suicide, many words, because they find someone dead, isn't it? So many words come up. People say, he was chucked. Then others will be like, he said this. But no one knows actually what killed the person, because when someone dies, no one is at the scene. They just find the dead person, isn't it? But you will hear so many words. He was chucked. This is what happened. I think women are bad. I think ABCD. But now today I think we are going to look at what could be the problem. Is it mental distress? Is it emotional distress? Is it a mental health illness? Because there is a disorder, mental health disorders and mental health illnesses. So is it a mental health illness? Has it been an existential? Is it a mental health disorder but triggered by an emotional distress? Those are things that we are going to look at today. So as I said, my name is Jane Mapenzi. I work with Safe Places Uganda. I work with Butabika Hospital. Mental health and addiction advocate. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Jen. Now, of course, I'm going to be asking you many questions which people need to understand. They need to. I actually use the word need to because where we are going, the era, I've seen that some people are using mental health just as a trend, but they're not really understanding what it's all about. Now, I'm going to give you some statistics. Uganda has a suicide rate of 19 people per 100,000 people, which makes it rank 17th globally and the 4th in Africa. I hope you are hearing that. A rate of 19 people per 100,000, ranking it 17th globally and the 4th in Africa. That must show that there is really something going on, And even as you drive on these roads of Kampala, you realize that the way they used to be called my car, and then the taxi guys, and then boda boda. But now, at the time, they used to complain that my car, the taxi guys would say taxi drivers are driving badly. Then the taxi drivers say, "Bamaikate, bamanyi kuvuga motoka." Sorry. Then the border borders came in and made matters worse. So it's an indicator that people are not really well mentally, or their mental health is not good. Then there was a mention of a 2024 report which indicates 272,271 instances of suicidal thoughts and attempts nationwide, with youth being particularly affected. So 19 people per 100,000, making Uganda rank 4th in Africa or 17th globally in suicide. Jen, what can you say about this?
That's very interesting. We are talking about now the statistics. But now, how about those ones that are not recorded? Because we could be having people up country in the villages that commit suicide, but no one sees them.
Yes.
And they are not recorded, isn't it? So meaning that if we are to deduct, if we have that number, in our brain we can add more. And there are those ones actually who are secretive, families which are secretive. Even when their people commit suicide, they don't come out because they believe actually that it is a taboo. To actually know that this family, people commit suicide in Africa because we are secretive in nature. We don't talk about things.
Yes.
We don't want people to know what has happened in the family. So now we are talking about people who are already identified. But there are people who are not identified. People are dying and no one comes out and say, you see on the funeral, this person committed suicide. Why? Because of the nature of our culture, we are secretive in nature. We don't want to talk about things. If we talk about them, then people will put question marks on our family. But now remember, if one has done that kind of act, we should know that because mental health disorder, sometimes they are family diseases. Another person, if you don't come out, another person will do it.
Yes.
So it will become a generational problem that a person has committed suicide today, you've hidden it, not asking people, not telling it to people so that people can say, maybe what could have been the cause? Maybe had a mental health illness, but it wasn't discovered earlier. But because you're hiding it, it is a monster that is hiding in the family. Another person will do it.
Very true.
Yes.
Very, very, very true. And it's really sad because silence, we say that the truth will set you free. You'll find that until you break that generational occurrence, I don't want to get it from a spiritual angle, but to break that generational occurrence, there has got to be intentional input.
To cut you short,
yes.
Do you know that if someone committed suicide in the family, every person who is hiding the information will get affected as well?
Yeah.
Because they are going to suffer from trauma, then severe grief, then they will become mental as well, because trauma is a mental health disorder. So it can become severe to become a mental health illness that these people will never sleep.
Yes.
Their conscience is going to get sick. They will get insomnia. They get fear of unknown, and even develop paranoia. They will be seeing the dead coming back to them.
Yes.
Yes, visually, they will be seeing the person. So people will not sleep. Because
Welcome back. It's Jen and I in the studio today. She's a counseling psychologist. We are on Stream UG Radio, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We are talking about suicide, the likely causes. We have talked about the statistics, which are kind of alarming, but, it is what it is. Uganda is rated as the 4th with the highest number of suicides in Africa and the 17th globally. So as we keep on with our guest today, counseling psychologist Jane Mapenzi, we had started talking about the causes of suicide, and we had said, she was talking about how one of them, silence about this problem is bringing or causing more problems. So let me ask the question, and she'll continue with that, but also add on more. What are the common causes of suicide in Uganda?
The common causes, actually, the common causes, should I say, because we can say mental health disorders, but the mental health disorders has a cause.
Yes.
You get, someone has no job.
Uh-huh.
Someone is, at the same time you're renting. You
Yes.
get, you have children. You have a wife to feed. And then you're looking for this job and the job is not there. So, because it's not there, you start getting distresses that are common to man. You're not sleeping, remember?
Yes.
You don't have what to eat, meaning in that situation you're going to get a nutrition deficiency, because if it also causes a mental health disorder.
Yes.
There is a lot of pressure around you. The landlord, you're waiting, the landlord will come. Then the woman maybe may start threatening you. I will go. Which type of a man are you? ABC. Then children are crying. Maybe they are eating at the neighborhood. They are chasing them. So there is a lot of pressure that actually can amount, that can cause distress to reach a point where someone hates himself. After hating himself, then he will feel life is nothing.
Yes.
Then what will happen? The anger that someone develops pushes someone to actually make an irrational decision of taking away his life. And that's why you've seen scenarios where a man will get poison or get a panga, cut everyone in the family. After finishing them, then he harms himself as well.
Yes, there is this situation that happened this past week where a lady,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've read about that one, a lady who is working who was working for National Water, and she killed her husband. And the claim is that, or the allegation is that it happened because he found out that the child she was carrying, a 6 months-old baby, 6 months old baby, was not his. That's I think the scenario you are talking about.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So there are so many scenarios. Now we are talking about that one. There is no job.
Yes,
Then we are talking
unemployment.
about relationships. Someone is cheating. Someone has cheated. And this is common among ladies. Someone has cheated on you, even when you're just suspecting. And you feel, I don't know whether I should call it an obsessive love, whereby you feel you can't live with someone.
We hear
And
that
you
a
feel you
lot.
are entitled to have this someone. And then that suspicion pushes some people to lack effective communication. So their communication is to hurt themselves, to ensure that the person, when she dies, this person will feel bad. You get?
Yes.
But it is not intentional, but the idea in someone is, let me kill myself, so that it's like he's inflicting pain, emotional pain,
Yes.
and the mental pain on the person who is going to remain.
Why do you think that happens? Because for a person who doesn't have maybe suicidal ideations, they don't think of it that way. Why would the person think that by me killing myself, it's going to hurt somebody else?
Now, you see, when you go into mental health and you dig out, you'll find that there are some people who have grown up without parents. So I've not grown up with any parent. So when I get this person is like a father or a mother to me.
Okay.
So anything, if my mother left me, my dad, there is that dysfunctional family. So when I get this person becomes part and parcel of me. So I want to dominate. I want to put this person to be mine. Entitlement. I was talking about entitlement. So if there is anything that I'm seeing that I think this person is about to leave me, I want to inflict pain. But however, we shouldn't forget that there are people who have personality issues.
Okay.
Some people have personality issues where a person, for example, is a narcissist. Narcissistic people want people to gather around them. It's about them. So if you do something that is different from what they want, they can they may want to inflict pain on them. But the pain is not that someone is going to slap himself. He can get poison and drink it. And then, so that the other person can come running around, like in Uganda, there's okumubudabuda.
Okay.
You get it? So that consolation and because now this person will come near and embrace, please, baby, you know what, But by mistake, you can drink poison and you go for good and you don't come back. Those things have happened in so many people. That someone was trying to commit suicide, but by God's mercy, he vomits the poison.
They survive that way.
But by bad luck, he even writes a letter and puts it there. I've gone, Caleb been your thing, those things, they talk about them.
And does it work on the person who is left behind?
Yes, it does. It does. Because mental health is contagious. It's like yawning. When I yawn, you'll yawn as well.
Okay.
So that disturbance that one gets, let me talk about it in simple terms. The disturbance that you're going to feel guilty, that I think I'm the one who was the cause, because someone has left a letter. This one was I'm the cause of why Jenny killed herself.
Yes.
Will torture you. And the trauma, if we talk about PTSD, post-traumatic disorder,
stress disorder, yes,
is something that events that we've experienced and we've not been able to cope with them. And then they become a virus in the long run and someone gets affected mentally. I can't sleep because X wrote even a letter. I start becoming emotional.
There's stigma also.
So I develop emotional
Guilt, shame.
pain that will make me feel, you get guilty, you feel ashamed, you start blaming yourself. So meaning you start withdrawing from society. And then you can do the same thing.
It can cause you also to commit suicide.
To commit suicide.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a very interesting phenomenon when you say it is, it's like yawning when one person does it, you know?
Because we've seen relationships also whereby two people are not compatible for each other. Their emotions are not compatible. They are always fighting. They are always, always fighting, always. So at the end of the day, if the person, the complainant, feels it's not the environment and the person is with, it's not the environment and the person doesn't favor the person, the complainant will affect the recipient.
Okay.
Yes. So every time you come home, someone is always complaining about, you are from where? ABCD, those things. So you find that the complainant will won't sleep, will have partial sleeps. Then the recipient will have also partial sleeps. So you'll find that both of them wake up when they are exhausted, but they have to work. So these are the people you find at work when they are angry. If it's your boss, you'll become a victim of what she's going through or what she's going through.
So you carry it from home into the workplace.
So what will happen? Either the person, instead of becoming violent and maybe hit someone or withdraw from the relationship, because now the relationship is toxic, the person can end up hurting himself or herself.
That's very sad.
Yes. Unintentionally. Too much anger and you feel you're exhausted.
So basically we are saying even family conflicts, they bring the mental health problem into the workplace.
Exactly.
So how do we deal with that?
Because these are steps.
How
from
do you
home,
deal with that?
Back at work, then to solve.
Then even the people you meet on the road when you're driving.
So when you are driving, you have this anger. So it is the body that is driving, but the brain is still on where you are coming from.
Yes.
You feel like you should have beaten, you should have fought. So that's why you've seen scenarios where there is a jam, but someone keeps on getting out and peeping and even getting out and go and abuse people.
Road rage, we call it.
Abuse people is everywhere. And then the driving, so when you see someone driving, he doesn't want to know. You can even knock anyone or anything.
We say everyone who is driving thinks they are the ones who are right.
Exactly. So imagine when you're in that kind of situation, you have developed a mental disorder. You don't sleep because of emotional exhaustion.
So that disorder is poor sleeping habits.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have insomnia at the end of the day because
Yes.
this thing has been there. You are living in a toxic relationship.
First, before you continue, first explain the word disorder, because I think people don't understand it. They think it's madness sometimes.
It's not madness. That's an insult.
Yes.
You know, there's a difference between a mental health disorder. So the mental health disorder has symptoms of extreme worries,
Yes.
but you can be function. Extreme worries.
Yes.
Then you have some suicidal maybe ideology. Maybe one day I'll do this, but it's not extreme.
Yes.
You are contemplating. But when it becomes extreme, you can start practicing it, trying to do it. You even crave to do it. You are looking for the right time to do it.
Okay.
Isn't it? You have hated yourself completely. You have hated the things you loved most. You have hated the people at the extreme. It is an illness where you need treatment.
Okay.
You get?
So with that, when there is a disorder, you also need treatment.
Yes.
How does one tell that it is no longer just the ordinary? It is now. It's now a
If
disorder.
it is frequenting, maybe frequenting negative thoughts. Like, for example, if I hate you, I can start hating you, but I come and disguise. Hi, Bill. Hi, how are you? But when I reach there, I twist the mouth. But when we meet, but there is at an extreme where I don't like you, I will show you the reality that I don't like you. And if you are here, I will not come. I will not come completely.
I have had when someone walks in and another person walks out.
Yes.
You know. So then, what treatment? What help does someone like that need?
So the help people need in that kind of situation, because at some point when people have started developing thought processing disorder, the thought processing disorder is where you cannot balance your thoughts. They are always in the negative. Everything is in the negative. You blame yourself, you blame people, you blame even work, you blame even everything. Then you start losing interest in the things you loved most. Even when they are interviewing you, the things you talk, people start questioning them. You get? Sometimes you can even go into denial. They're asking you this, you're saying this. They're asking you this, you're saying this. I'm this. Even when they're asking you a direct question. You get? So everything is actually in a certain docket, but they don't get out. Your brain is just squeezed within the negativity. So if you start tracking, because some people, when it is extreme, you may not know that you are developing a disorder.
Yeah, usually the
you
last
think
person
that everything
to know.
is okay.
Yes.
Even when they tell you that, are you okay? Nowadays used to be ABC, but then you get totally angry. Then you hate that person and look for people who will tell you what you want to hear.
Yes.
Yes.
So how does that person get help? Because they don't know.
So they don't know at an extreme. That's why we have involuntary treatment. In an extreme, we have involuntary treatment.
So because someone is getting angry, what do I do? Arrest him?
So someone can be getting extreme anger.
Yes.
Then we have rage, whereby people hate their family completely and even keep on backbiting their family members. They even shift and go and stay with the people somewhere.
Okay.
They can even go and rent. They call it what? A and B. Those
B and B.
Those ones.
B and B.
And someone can go and rent there and even block people. That is at an extreme. They look for a person. If he's to put, he keeps on putting the phone on, checking whether people are looking for him. And then he can remove the phone and first see how many were looking for him, and then all messages, then blocks them again.
Very interesting. You know why I'm saying that's interesting? Because during the time when I still had a substance use disorder, that's what I would do. And if nobody was looking for me,
you'd feel bad.
I would feel angry. In fact, I would get
they
annoyed.
don't like me.
Yes.
Imagine. Yeah.
So do you get this person, and how do you start the process of getting them to get help?
So how do you get the process? The family members can use a friend, because these people have friends. They have at least one person like this. So we've talked about that. When you talk about it, every person who talks about the situation, he will hate them. But there is this person,
the enabler, we say.
So this person, it would be better the family to use the enabler to actually see a psychologist, and they talk to him on how to approach the effective communication that I was talking about. Because all of us communicate.
So this enabler who talks to the person is usually advisable that person goes for professional help to see how to help this person.
Exactly. Because if they don't, mark you, even if he reaches there, he wants to please the friend. And they are one of the people who actually even escalate the problem.
They escalate it, yes.
Yes. So it's better to first have this one go, and then he's assessed. How do you see your friend? What is happening? They be found now. What do you see in him? How have you helped the person? Then when you hear from him or her, then you can help him to help the person on approach.
Yes.
This how, what if you do this? You don't say, go and say this. He will not do it.
Sometimes you'll find people saying, no, you must see somebody.
Exactly.
Which is not working. So, our dear listeners, I think you get that, because at the helm of understanding what the problem is, it is also very important to know what to do about it. And many of us, some of us who have suffered it and others who are still suffering it, and the loved ones, the point of saying, how do I help this person, is the most confusing. And the professional has told us, Jane Mapenzi has told us, that the best way is for the person who has got close contact with the sufferer to go get professional help on how to help the person they need to help. Because once they get that, they are able to come and start the process of helping this person understand. I gave an example that even me, myself, when I was suffering a substance use disorder, I did not want people... I didn't want people to contact me, but I wanted them to look for me. So I would do things like switching off my phone, and when I switch it on and no one has sent a message or no missed calls, it would actually cause me a lot of anger. You are still listening to Mind Matters on Stream UG Radio. We have a guest in the house, Jane Mapenzi, and we are still going on talking about suicide, and we had reached the point when we were talking about common causes of suicide in Uganda. She has mentioned things like academic, unemployment, mental health, stigma, family conflicts. And Jen, I'm getting back to you now.
Yeah.
Academic pressure. Because these mental health disorders eventually lead to suicide. That's what we are saying. Definitely. The majority of them. So how does academic pressure, because this is now affecting young people?
Yeah. So let's talk about, I like the topic about academic pressures. You see, first of all, let's go step by step. We are looking at a child who has been taken to boarding school.
Usually senior one, 13, 14 years. Yes.
So senior one, we have, how could we term it? The environmental shock. They've taken it from home and they are taking me to an environment where I've never been. But with the view that that's when I'm going to perform well. I'm going to learn how to be independent, those things. I'm going to learn how to socialize. Then I'm going to be with some people that will be my friends in the future to get jobs. That's according to my parents. Now you are taking me. But remember, there are certain stages where children need the emotional support of parents.
Yes.
Isn't it? The emotional support, the psychological support, the mental support, the ABCD. Children at a certain stage, they still need it. But now here we've taken them to be independent. And then when we reach there, we'll have other people who are going to take care of us. So I'm going knowing that canes are there. Waking up at 4 is there. Sleeping at 11 after preps. All those things are there. Bathing cold water. Eating habits are going to change.
And the food.
Exactly. And the type of food is going to change. All these things can cause me...
And the rules and regulations.
Exactly. They can cause me emotional distress. Because even when they say, you go and play, the playing has rules and regulations.
Yes. And there is no love. The teachers don't love the students.
There is no love. At least they are love. It's not, there is no love, there's no mentorship. So now as I grow, I'm growing with other people. Maybe they're aggressive. Maybe they have which type of language. Maybe they have hated themselves. They're like, me one day I'll kill myself. There are so many things that happens in school. Being bullied.
Bullied, yeah. True.
Yes, so many things. So some children have reached a point where their academic situation starts deteriorating because they are sad. They are sad of environmental shock. Isn't it? They are sad. But they are doing what they are doing. They are accepting to go to school because they have to please parents. They have nothing to do.
They have no choice, yes.
They have no choice. So they go. And then when they come back home, we have maids there. So there is no parent who motivates or who revamps the emotions of these children and the psychological. They don't, because they are busy, very busy.
They are looking for money for school fees.
They are looking for money for school fees, paid 3 million, 5 million. But they are not minding about the psychological part of the child. How does the child think? Because the way the child thinks affects how they feel. And it affects their well-being. So the way the child thinks affects how he's going to feel at the end of the day, and it is going to affect his action plan. That's it.
And there's also another thing which I have been talking about a lot, which is escapes people's minds, which is they even have poor sleeping habits.
Yes, I was going to come there.
Yes.
They do. Because now you're changing their routine. Now they are studying. I said they first do preps, then they have to wake up at 4. And then they have to perform according to the school. They have to perform. So they develop anxiety disorder in the due course because they have to wake up at a certain hour. Maybe they ring the bell, whatever happens. All these changes affects them mentally. And sleep is part of the medicine of the body that the body wants. The body may not get enough food, but it needs the sleep.
Yes, it does.
Yes. But when that automation phase starts changing, and someone has to sleep using money, that they have to ring the bell at 4, or the dumb person comes and knocks, wake up, wake up, wake up. That thing affects the children.
And
mentally.
also the students who leave home, or day students who get into the car to go to school at 4 a.m.
All of
reach
them.
there at 7.
So they are all affected. So many children are struggling with anxiety disorders. And then these anxiety disorders, that's why you've seen in certain schools, they say, Babantu bakwatiddwa emizimu.
Oh.
So you find a child is there, but has heart palpitations, worries, fear of unknown, extreme anxiety. Then when they reach in the hospital, and some children can start even behaving in a weird way. Laughing, everywhere is moving.
Yes.
And then at the end of the day, this child can be diagnosed with ADHD. It is not ADHD. It can be severe anxiety disorder. And the child is trying to cope by behaving funny.
So you start as a parent, you notice that they have changed from who they were before.
Yes. Guys, moving because his brain is working extremely.
So even young people are affected despite the fact that they may not be using substances.
Yes.
They may be seeming to be in good behavior.
Yes.
They are following rules.
The change of circumstances makes children change mentally. And in severe cases, if the child doesn't have very strong support, maybe it comes from an abusive family. There are those abusive families.
Yes.
They take you to the bed, but when you come at home, you are coming in Gaza. Mom and dad, there is Israel, there is Gaza. That child is prone to getting a mental health disorder.
Yes.
at some point A. It's because some symptoms have not been shown. And some teachers, the children can show these symptoms, and then they start saying the child is bad-mannered, and they beat them. They are escalating the problem.
Okay.
Yes.
And so how does this escalate now to become suicidal?
Because now if at home there is what I've talked about, there is Gaza and Israel. They want me to be in books instead of asking me where I'm being sad, where I'm misbehaving, and sit down with me. How do you feel? What challenges do you meet at school? Why is your performance low? You get. They are beating me. They beat me. They tell me so many words. Can't you be like your sister? Can't you be like who?
Comparison.
Exactly. Then I reach at school. School people are behaving the same. When I don't perform, they beat me. Isn't it? And I'm not having enough sleep. Everything has changed. What I will do is to commit to suicide. Because I will hate myself. I'll be like, the brain
You
says...
don't have where to go.
Exactly. You reach here, there is a wall. You reach here, there is a wall.
So people shouldn't only look at suicidal tendencies as coming from bullying, although bullying has a very big effect on it.
Yes, they should look at significant other situations, as I've explained.
I hope there are parents out there, and for those who will miss this, please tell them that they can always get a recording that will be playing after on the communications that will be shared through Stream UG Radio on my pages. You know, this is actually scary because they think that I don't know whether to put it that it is caused from home or it is caused from school. And then when something like that happens, there is always blame as opposed to seeking for how it happened and how to stop that from happening.
The cause is very important. Do you know that there are children who don't like boarding school? There are very many that have
Yes, there are.
But they are forced to go to boarding school.
I didn't like boarding school.
And they go to school and they start misbehaving so that they can come back home. And then when they call parents, your child is misbehaving, the child reaches in office and blasts the child badly. Sometimes even slapping them.
Oh, yes. I had a friend who wanted to be expelled.
Yes.
And what he did to be expelled. Okay, let's continue from there.
Yeah. So they are slapped. And then because some teachers, because you see there is being a specialized person in certain things that you have studied teaching, and then you've impact on the child psychology or teenage psychology, all those things. But now you find that a teacher is siding with the parent, and then they start torturing the child. Hey, you'll be ABCD. Now he comes to class and does this and does this. But you first sit down. Did you get, if you have a therapist, did you sit with the child? Because the truth is, teachers can never be counselors in school.
Oh, yes, they are not trained professionally to do that.
Even if you're trained, let me say you've done your teaching career at a degree, then you go for masters in counseling. You can't do both because counseling has to do with confidentiality.
Okay.
But we've found out that teachers, after telling them something, then when it is a time for maybe a child has done something bad, then they start...
They use it against you.
Exactly. Okubalangira.
Yes.
That's why your father does this to your mother. But the child told you something confident. He wanted help. That's why they raped you, stupid. And they start beating them. And then when they call the parents are going to do the same. Beating. Your child said that at home she was molested. You are putting a rift.
So you are saying that we need to have
a specialist in a school.
Yes.
Yes.
But now there are many things. There are substance use disorders. There are depressive disorders, anxiety, and all these. Are we thinking of, and then also there is a consideration of the number of pupils we have in school.
Yes.
Are we saying they just need one person or they need a whole mental health department?
They can do it if they have the money.
They do have the money.
Yes, they can do it. They should put that part.
Yes.
If possible, they can even hire a psychiatric officer. Yes. Because you find that there are these children who have anxiety, and then someone is there and you hear the person has collapsed and is losing energy. They start bringing papers.
Yes.
what do? Like
Kuhuha in
kumuja-uja.
Ruchiga.
Kumuja-uja.
Yes.
And then they're like, hey, then others, because it is like passive, you find others, because they are scared their fellow friend is dying, they also start jacking. Then they say, headmaster brought things here in the hospital.
So it is a mental health effect,
Yes.
like what we talked about in the beginning, like yawning. That one person gets this and
Yes. Have you ever observed in church what happens in church? Where a pastor touches someone, and when he starts talking about that part where they're removing demons,
yes,
how everyone falls.
when one person falls, everyone falls.
Exactly.
I thought it is planned. So churches, we are seeing that psychology is working in the,
Because you come with the fear, first of all. The fear is what makes the body react. Yes. That's the fear. It's like having an accident. The accident happens. If you are not seeing you are sleeping,
Yes.
you'll not feel the impact. But when you start feeling people yelling and you get up,
yes,
you also start screaming and the heart starts beating and you feel like the leg has gone.
very interesting.
Yes.
So we are seeing that academic pressure
Yes.
is really a problem. What about peer pressure? Because now it's many people don't understand that there is more than just one cause to all these problems. They seem to think bad behavior caused by people, and I've always told people that there is no child who is born with bad behavior. They learn it from somewhere.
Yes.
It must be induced.
It's the yawning I was talking about.
Yes.
Yes.
And so it comes from somewhere. So
Yes.
instead of people looking to see where this has come from and whatever, they just go. And then the teachers become bullies or
Yes.
kings over them, and they start being feared and revered. Then there is the academic pressure to perform,
Yes.
and then they don't have the professional help to help them. Do you
know that nowadays in school, children don't have the time to think about themselves?
Yeah, that makes sense.
They don't.
They're thinking about what they have to do,
Yes.
where they have to be,
Success.
and
Because
then
now
also,
there is a pressure where you have to go to school, and then at the end of the day when you go home, you have a basket of books you have to read,
yes.
isn't it? So you don't have time for yourself. But a human being must have time for himself to think, reflect, and meditate.
Oh, the discussion is getting hotter, and we are going to take a short